Hi, everybody. Welcome to Josh and Cassie Yell About Movies, and we have a very special announcement today. First off, Cassie is no longer with us. I'm really sorry about that, guys. She checked out of the show for unknown reasons. I can't believe it. She texted me and she said she doesn't want to do the show anymore.
They yell about directors, yell about the plot, yell about the acting, but they also talk a lot. But mostly Josh and Cassie yell about the movies.
I don't know. She didn't give a real reason. I mean, she said something like it was a lot of pressure, and I can understand that. Doing a podcast every single week, having to talk to people, having to be cheerful. I mean, there's a lot going on. I don't know. I had a great time with her. We were on since February. We did 18 regular episodes and 2 bonus episodes. And so I still like yelling about movies, you guys. So I'm going to be doing that. And I have my number one fan, Phoebe, joining us to step in temporarily, long time. Who knows? Phoebe, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Phoebe, and I'm a singer-songwriter when I'm not an executive. And I can promise 3 things as my time as your co-host for now or forever. I don't know. Is that I promise I will not annoy the folks at home. I mean, in the following ways. 1, that I won't use vocal fry to make myself sound more intelligent or informed than I am. I promise I will not put down my co-host, our guests, if I want to feel more important or larger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise I'm just having fun.
Okay, that's great. I can promise all those things also, and I'll promise that I'll continue to just be myself, which I have been since the beginning. I think so. So that's it. I don't know. We had a guest on last weekend. Well, we were supposed to. Porochista Kakpour, New York Times bestselling novelist and memoirist, and then she forgot that she had a 6-hour hair appointment on Sunday. She couldn't make it, and Phoebe was out of town seeing her parents, well, her dad and his new wife and family in Pennsylvania. She didn't get back in time, so it didn't happen. So she wants to reschedule with her agent. But Phoebe, do we want to wait for her to do The Sound of Metal? Do we want to do a different movie?
Well, we're here now. Oh, that's a good point. Oh, wow. Well, she hasn't seen the movie yet, so we can either do it now because we've watched the movie and they're to be there. I mean, what other movie would we do?
I have no idea, but I don't think you want to watch Mortal Kombat. I've been teasing that one for months.
It was a horrible Nicolas Cage horror movie that we saw recently, and I don't think that that's something that we want to...
No, that was a bad one.
I blocked it. I don't remember. I mentioned it the other day, and somebody, to my shock, had seen it as well. But it was really fun to talk about how horrible it was.
It was Nicolas Cage battling animatronic robots from a kid's musical theme restaurant, kind of like Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza come to life. And I researched that, and it actually did come from somebody bought these abandoned animatronic puppets from the 80s and made their own restaurant. and somebody saw that, and then the director of the movie saw it. What's that?
Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, Willy's Wonderland. It was pretty weird movie. It defies all logic, but you get to see Nicolas Cage just destroying some animatronic puppets. That's all I can say.
But what was Nicolas Cage? I mean, he had to drink that soda, which I think was the version of Monster. He had to play pinball.
He did.
Why? Was he an alien? Was he
well
an angel?
Well, I was talking to my cousin David about this, and I think you haven't seen the movie Mandy. I was teasing that one with you. That's another movie where he's dressed in all black, just like in this movie, and in a similar car. Where in Mandy he just finished chainsawing and killing murderous legions of death demons of some sort in a weird, trippy horror film. And I thought he was actually playing the same character from that movie because of the similar outfit and car. and he just come from that killing, and his car broke down in this weird town. And then the setup of the movie was they invited him to clean the restaurant in exchange for fixing his car. And he didn't have a single line in the movie. He did not utter a single line in the movie.
And locked him in it. Like the exchange was, you can't afford for your car, so you have to clean it overnight.
Right.
Locked and chained in there, and he was like, which is okay, and because he doesn't say any lines.
Right, doesn't say any lines. It'd been funnier if he held up like a note card, like those Warner Brothers cartoons, like meet, like a, yeah. So it was, it was a play on that house.
That would make more sense, because then we would know that he was a cartoon character.
Cartoon, right? But it was also playing. Yeah, it was playing on that House of Haunted Hill. Would you spend the night in a haunted house for whatever amount of money it was back in when Vincent Price first did it in the 50s or 60s, whenever that movie was.
Right.
So I can't recommend anyone watch that unless you're a big Nicolas Cage-aholic like I am. So.
Or if you love horror movies, especially those that are bad. I mean, they do have a place, and they do have an audience. It was pretty horrendous. It was kind of fun to talk about.
It's right. Bad movies are fun with two people. By myself, maybe not as much fun.
Actually, not at all. But you did fall asleep during that movie.
I did. Wow.
Times.
Did we watch this movie straight through, or did we stop and reconvene at a different point?
I think there were moments where we paused it to convene. And then played, and that was fun. And then you fell asleep. Like, I would say even like sooner than midway. Yeah.
And then the next day I was in church, and I texted you a link about the real restaurant that uses animatronic puppets, or the similar one. And you're like, oh, now it makes sense.
It's like the Southern people's Chuck E. Cheese. And us Northerners had Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Right. There's still one in Harlem, or is that still there?
That's a great question. I don't know. I was not forbidden to ever go to Chuck E. Cheese because I had a temper tantrum there as a 3-year-old, and it was my first spanking. And my mother never wanted to go back there again.
Wow, that's terrible. That reminds me of when I was 12, and my grandmother waited an hour to buy me a Nintendo game at what would be Best Buy now. It was called Service Merchandise in 1989.
Okay.
And this was a week before she died, and she said, "Joshua, please don't ever ask me." She said Joshua, by the way, not Josh. I just don't ever ask me to take you to that store ever again, because she waited an hour, and then a week later she died, so she got her wish. That's a true story.
That sounds like, I'm sorry. That's a horrible, really incredibly sad story. And I don't know what to say other than I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's
makes a really good movie too, though. That sounds like a plot line.
You're right. It does sound like a plot line.
It does.
It's
a way better movie than Willy's Wonderland. That's
I mean, like Luke Skywalker said, you'll find him full of surprises. He said that. It's a movie.
When he showed back up with a new face. That was awesome.
Exactly. And he also showed up with a CGI face in that new Star Wars TV show. I don't know if you watched that.
Definitely not. I tuned out of the whole Star Wars thing at Jar Jar Binks.
Well,
we were introduced to Jar Jar Binks, and I just went, no. And I fell asleep during the war scene. Not a good sign.
Listen, Jar Jar was terrible. It ruined it for a lot of people. But the new TV show, The Mandalorian, takes it back to its roots, and it feels like a serious 80s action adventure show. Each episode is like a bottle episode, like self-contained.
Yeah.
And each episode is like fighting a different monster or has a different adventure. Just kind of like the old Incredible Hulk show where you go to a different town, solve a puzzle or an adventure, and go to the next town or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, so guys, that was a little preview of what we're going to do on the show, I think. Anyway, Phoebe, how are you feeling about being the new co-host?
I'm feeling humble. I'm feeling like I'm up for the challenge.
Okay.
I'm feeling like I have some shoes to fill, and some hearts to break. And because I'm sure there are people that are just devastated by Cassie's leaving. I still think we should have given everybody the 3 mystery reasons and let the audience choose which one was the truth.
Oh, you mean Well, go ahead. We can still do that. What was it? What was it?
It's too late. They know. They know that we don't know. We wish Cassie well and hope it's yoga and Milwaukee and everything, works out. Know thyself, fly thy coop.
If she wants to come back as a guest, love to have her on.
That would be
We'll
fun.
see. I don't know. She wanted to make a clean break, she said.
Well, then let's give it to her.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that sounds like that's it for now. Any parting words? No.
Those were them. I thought
No, that was definitely it. Guys, anyway, this is really hard. Josh and Cassie had a nice ring to it. Josh and Phoebe also sounds good. We're going to be yelling about movies, guys. That's all I know. Phoebe, you feel like yelling about movies?
I always yell about the movies.
Great.
I'm a New Yorker with a lot of opinions.
Okay. Well, that I can get behind. All right. And we'll keep talking. And everybody else, I'll see you next week.